Okay, good evening once again. Of course, good morning and good day as well. That's from different parts of the world. So this essentially on simple exercises for pandemic times, body, breath, brain. Uh, Basically, I practiced some of them and I found it very useful. So I thought it could be useful for others as well. Welcome, still chiming.
Good evening, Vishu. Sorry I'm late.
Good evening. Okay. No issue. Okay, so what I plan to do is I'll cover some basic foundations or background on the science and technology aspect of these exercises, essentially about our human body, mind, energy system. And then we'll do the practice because then we'll do it with a better understanding. Then we'll do it more in an appropriate way. Otherwise, we'll blindly try to do it as a rule and then we may even not do some of them properly. So context, as I said, the pandemic practices are pushing people to unhealthy lifestyles. Especially if you look at lockdowns, work from home, online classes, social distancing, all those aspects, putting people more into sedentary lifestyle, too much screen time, mobile computers, and improper time management. The office home times are blurred. Because we work with many companies, we see this as a kind of a common pattern. So it stretches from early morning to very late evening or night, and people are not able to or even not managing their time properly. So some of the implications of this is that impact on physical, mental, emotional well-being, stress, boredom, burnout, eye problems because of too much screen time, neck, shoulder, back pain, stiffness, even sometimes spondylitis, overall health issues because of lack of exercise and movements. If people go to office, there will be a little bit more movement than actually working at home. And all this actually reduces even the immunity because of, we'll see some of them, why it happens. And this makes us even more susceptible for these kind of situations, which is really a negative, cycle. I think there is some background noise. Can everybody go on mute? So before I proceed, some of these practices I learned from these masters, Sri Ravi Shankar, Sadhguru, Sri M. Sri M encouraged me to share and teach some of the practices other than the Kriya. So I'm indebted to all of them, and that's why it's kind of samarpani to all of them. So let me cover a little bit about this. How is our system, body, mind, energy system, or even beyond, is? And we have done a very detailed session of this during the last series. So I have given a link to the recording. I'll be sharing this presentation so that you don't have to note down the exercise steps and all later. And you can, go to this link and replay those recordings to, get a deeper understanding of this system, what you covered. So essentially, the yogi system and the Upanishads show us that we are not just this body-mind entity. At least at a physical level, we are even more than that. So we have these panchakoshas, the physical body, energy body, mental body, and two more layers. And then you can notice this physical body, we know through modern medical systems, more like musculoskeletal system, circulatory system, respiratory nervous system, etc. Then the energy body, which is having 7 chakras, 3 central nadis, and 72,000 nadis, Panchamaha pranas, etc. Then the Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta, different aspects of our mind, you can say, and the gunas. So these are kind of the anatomy of this system, you can say. Then they are made of panchabhutas, earth, water, air, fire. So we can notice that in our system, the musculoskeletal system, which is a solid body, is more like made of the earth, kind of a solid material. Circulatory system, which deals with the fluids like water, blood. Respiratory system deals with the air. Nervous system deals with the fire, like the electrical energy. And the chakras, nadis deal with the akash because they are basically hollow channels and spaces. And we can see our system has from gross to subtle, sthula to sukshma, and cause to effect. So the more deeper we go, we actually touch the cause, and then we can effect outside. For example, even though physical ailments or physical problems, we can deal much more powerfully if you go to the deeper levels of energy level or mind level. In modern medical science now, we know that 80 to 90% of diseases are psychosomatic, caused by mind actually, because they impact our nervous system, endocrine system, our hormones, and entire functioning of the body. So like that, this sukshma is the cause and sthula is the effect. And sense and respond. We sense through the 5 senses and respond through 5 motor organs. So this is in a nutshell our anatomy, which will be kind of referring as we do the exercise, because these yogic exercises are meant to deal with this whole panchakoshas, not just physical. We may think that yogasana is like a body, but it is actually dealing with the energy systems. So I will have 2 parts: exercise for the upper body and exercise for the lower body. For the upper body, step 1, we should start with invocation. Normally we neglect this because it doesn't look to be very complicated or very challenging. Our intellect tries to do that. Whatever is more difficult, we think that's an achievement. Simple things we think it's not very effective. But in nature, actually simplicity is more powerful. So start with the highest possibility. Which is, as the Upanishad show us, that we are not the finite body-mind entity, we are the infinite existence consciousness. We may not realize that, but we should start with as a reminder for ourselves, because right now, right here, we are that. But as Upanishad show that because of ignorance, we think that we are this finite entity, and this world is like a physical object and phenomena. So that's why we should start with that highest possibility, remind ourselves, and then start with the sound, Om. Om is called primordial sound because this is the first vibrations that started from this consciousness to anything starting manifesting outside. Started with light and vibrations, that's what they say. And then this sound vibrates all the chakras and nadis. If you just observe, Om is a kind of a combination of if you utter, you can notice that it vibrates at the lower part, the abdomen region, and U vibrates at heart and throat level, vibrates at the head level. So this Om actually vibrates this entire column where we have 7 chakras and the 3 main nadis. That's why it's actually activates all this energy system. And there are many things more. It relates to Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti, which is wake state, dream state, deep sleep state, and what's called Turiya, which is not really a 4th state, but that is the fundamental state which is a witness for all these 3 states. So Om relates to that. In fact, there is one video by Shriyam, you can watch that. Just on Om, he has spent 1 hour. It's that significant. And then this is a very good invocation, which is many of us know about Asatoma Sadgamaya, which means lead us from unreal to real. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, lead us from darkness to light. Mrityoma Amritangamaya, lead us from death to immortality. Here it doesn't mean body immortality. It means that we are already immortal. It is about realizing that we don't die, as Upanishads shows. In fact, Upanishads give about more than 35 proofs, which are very scientific proofs, to demonstrate that we are the infinite consciousness. We are not this finite body mind. And then it ends with Om Shanti 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 3 times. Shanti, which is about peace, 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 which is essentially telling the mind that relax, calm down, because as the mind settles down, we will be able to perceive the subtle aspects. So this invocation is very important because it sets the trajectory or the orientation. It's just like if you want to fire a rocket, it needs to be oriented first right way, right? Then you fire it, it goes to that direction. Very similar to that. So it's important that we start with this, we orient our mind and tell the mind that don't worry, next 15 minutes, sky is not going to fall down. Otherwise, mind will be thinking about the planning or the what to do next and what will happen, all those kind of things. You tell the mind, just calm down, settle down. Then we'll get into the activity, because then body, mind, energy will be in a much more synchronized way they will be. So this is step 1, invocation. And step 2, now we'll really learn some techniques. This is called Brahma Mudra. So for this, if you can sit on Vajrasana, that is the best, which is you sit on your heels. Like Muslims, how they sit for namaz, that is that kind of a posture. Otherwise, cross-legged is fine. If not possible, even on a chair, it's fine. And you can do some optional pre-work before doing this Brahma Mudra in your normal practices. Any asanas like Surya Namaskar or even stretching exercise will be useful. Maybe you can look at 2 simple stretch exercises, especially for work from home and online classes kind of situations. One is like this: you join your fingers like this, and turn it outward like this. Keep it on the head and stretch it up. And while doing this, as you stretch up, you should breathe in, and when you bring it down, you breathe out. In fact, you can do this standing, and while you're doing that, you can stand on your toes also while stretching up. Or if you are even in a sitting posture during work time also, you can just do this. It is, you do this hand and then turn it like this. Yeah, just like this. And shoulder movement, which will be very nice. It's like this and turn like this. Again, you breathe in and then breathe out. And reverse. So like this, you can do a couple of times. Then now we'll come to the Brahma Mudra. So here, this is an extremely good exercise for neck, eyes and face, hands and shoulder, all the upper part. See what happens in our, we should understand this work from, too much sedentary computer and mobile kind of a usage. Our neck and head will be very stiff like this when we're watching constantly like this. So they start developing stiffness here and less mobility. And also eye, if you notice, will blink less when you are watching screens. So eye starts becoming dry and eye muscles start getting hardened. If you have observed or if you have studied also, how eye focuses different objects is that it's like a lens, for viewing the long distance object, it becomes flatter, and for short distance object, it becomes more concave like this. So there is, if it's flexible like this, we can easily see the far away object and the nearby objects. And also there are muscles in the eye which actually make that lens like that. So when you're constantly looking at something like this, we are focused only on one focal length, it gets kind of hardened at that point. That's why people start getting eyesight. In fact, I have shared probably in one of the sessions. I used to wear bifocal glasses for many years, and almost last 12, 14 years, I'm not wearing any glasses. My eyesight has changed. And for eyes and faces, the whole face and neck, this is such an important junction. We don't pay attention to this. If you observe this junction, this whole neck, there is a food pipe where the food and water goes. There is wind pipe where the air goes. There is whole nervous system, and the spinal column has all the three nadis, and there is this Vishuddhi chakra, and there is this thyroid gland. This is a very, very important junction, and this is the connect between the head, which has all the sensors, eyes, ears, nose, taste, and all the processing, the whole brain and many things. And so you all sense, analyze, and then give command to the rest of the body. So this is a huge supply chain junction actually. And it is such a wonderful design. You can turn it in so many directions. Still, it doesn't break for 70, 80, or 90 years, right? No leakage. Imagine our plumbing and drainage systems. Such a complicated system we have. So we need to keep this very flexible. And this is what this mudra does. And it improves all the supplies between head and the rest of the body. So if this is flawed, many things could be problem, even for the head, because the brain is the single largest organ which consumes highest amount of energy and oxygen and water. 25% of the resources the brain alone consumes. That means so much supply has to happen here. So that's a quick background. Now I will stop sharing so that you can see better maybe. Is it better to see now?
Yeah, Vishu.
Yeah. So now what you do is in this mudra, you have to put your thumb finger at the base of the little finger, like this, and then make a fist. I have talked about mudra also in that last session. You can watch that in that video. So mudra basically moderates the panchabhutas, because these represent those panchabhutas, and it also moves the energy into various parts of the body. So then you join this wrist like this and keep it on your thighs, touching the abdomen. I think my camera is not covering that sufficiently maybe, but you can get an idea, right? You have to do like this and then keep it on your stomach. Yeah. On your thighs, touching the abdomen. Now what you have to do is, you just watch now first, okay? Don't do that. You have to turn the head slowly. You should turn very slowly, okay? Because this is a very sensitive junction. And if you experience any slight stiffness or a strain, you don't push it further. Just leave it, because it will loosen up gradually. So you have to turn it like this, and then even turn your torso. Are you able to get it? First the head, which comes up to alignment with the shoulder, then even the body you turn, so that you can see behind as much as possible. And while doing this, you should breathe in slowly. Slowly breathe in like this and then breathe out. So just watch now. So you adjust your speed according to your breathing speed. So this should be inhale, then exhale. And also when doing this, you move your eyes to the other extreme, the right extreme, so that you can see as much as possible behind you. It's like that. So all this should synchronize. Move this while breathing in and turning the head to the extreme. Then breathe out, bringing back the eye also to the straight, looking straight. And then next left side. Like this. Then similarly up. While doing up, inhale. Again, you take the head like this and then bend the body also like this. You know. And again, look up as much as possible. Eye. And then bring the head fully down. And at that time, look down as much as possible. The eyeball should come down as much as possible. So this is breathe in and then breathe out. And then come to the straight posture. So this will be one cycle. So you can try now. Try one cycle, and then if there are questions, we can address. Okay, so how many cycles and when to do, etc. I'll cover towards the end. So you just learn the technique first. Now, any questions?
So Vishu, we have to be in Vajrasan while doing this, right?
That's the best posture, because for all these things, you should keep the spinal column straight, the back and head straight.
Okay.
The moment you sit in Vajrasan, you can see that you will be in a straight posture.
Okay. And if you have some problem with your, the hip or the waist, is Vajrasan, I mean...
So if it is not comfortable, don't sit in Vajrasan. You see whether you can sit in Ardha Siddhasana or just the cross-leg posture.
Okay, great.
If that is also not comfortable, you can sit on a chair also. That's not an issue.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Because body should be in a comfortable position. It should not be straining the body.
Yes. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. So this is fine.
Fisher, did you say that this exercise helps in the eyesight?
Yes, because it helps the whole upper body. Shoulders, neck, face, eyes, and all the circulations. As you can notice, we exercise our eye muscles through that. We are moving the eye to the extremes, right? Right and left and top and bottom. So it starts bringing flexibility in those eye muscles and in turn the eye lens.
We should just to share, Bharatanatyam actually has a lot of similar,
Yes.
steps that we incorporated.
Oh yes. In fact, all Indian classical music,
and dance, the art form.
Dance, integrates so much of yogic aspects.
Correct.
Yes, very true. In fact, in Indian system, everything is very integrated. You look at dance, music, food, lifestyle, culture, festivals. Everything is oriented towards this ultimate, goal of realization.
True.
Okay, good. So are you all okay? Okay. Yeah, it's simple because Yeah, even you can do this even during work time where you get a small break. Important point is that you should not rush through this. You should not hurry doing this. It should be as slow as possible. The more you slow down, it's more effective. That means it's breath. Your breathing also should become very slow. That's why it's important what I said about invocation to slow down the mind and even settle down the mind actually. Okay, now let me go back to the presentation. I'm not watching the charts, okay? If you have anything, you ask.
We should just again on the eye thing.
Yeah.
Is this one exercise good enough, or there are like you need to do a different set of exercises to just improve eyesight?
Okay, a couple of things you can do. One more is throughout the day, especially, you keep looking at some long distance objects frequently, at least some few seconds or a minute, or even slightly more, at least once an hour. Because when you're watching screen or mobile, etc., our lens is focusing so much on the near objects. It's kind of getting stuck there. So it helps to keep changing the focal length of the eyeball. So frequently we should keep looking at faraway objects. Again, you don't notice that it's a great exercise, but it is so important and so powerful. Simple things are very powerful. So that's one thing. Another thing is you rub your palm like this. You can actually feel some kind of an energy there, and then keep it on the eyes, the palm, not the fingers. And as you have kept the palm on the eyes, you can just gently move the eyeballs, rotation, etc. And also it massages, these eyebrows around, muscles around the eye. And also, actually, we generate a lot of energy in our palms. There are a lot of chakras here. That's why you can do transmission and all. People, blessings and all. You can even experience that with this bringing together, and you can experience the magnetic push and pull. So you can do experiments. So you can energize your eyes.
Thank
And
you.
of course, entire general health has a very big impact on eyes, and mind has again a very big impact on eyes. If you are constantly under stress, you can see that eyes get strained. So the more mind is relaxed, eyes also will be relaxed.
Thank you, Vishu. Do you notice the eyesight improvement is it a few weeks, or is like you have to do it for a few months?
I'll come to that. All this now you should do very consistently for longer periods of time, because we constantly regenerate our system internally. We're constantly manufacturing cells in our body. If you just observe, saliva is coming in the mouth constantly, right? That means we are manufacturing saliva. In the eyes, waters are coming, right? We are manufacturing water there. Like that, for example, entire digestive tract cells change once in 3 days. Entire blood cells change once in 28 days. That means none of the blood cells are older than 28 days. So like that, we are actually constantly manufacturing our system. So the more consistently we keep doing this, we keep bringing our new cells in a new, better way. So we regenerate our whole system.
Thank you.
Yeah. Keep asking questions, then I can bring up any points. Okay, so this is one important step, I would say, one exercise. Now we'll learn 3 breathing techniques. I'm sure many of you know this. Bhastrika, I'm calling this a CO2 breath. Because it removes carbon dioxide and other toxins. In fact, breath is the biggest cleaning mechanism in our system. We may think that sweating or excrete, passing urine or stool, we think that may be cleaning the system. More than that, breath is the biggest cleaning mechanism in our system, because we recycle about 5,000 liters of air every day. So it's important to breathe out properly so that we exhale properly. Ujjayi breath, this is, I'm calling this O2 breath because this increases oxygen intake into the blood. And then Brahmari, this is NO breath. It's not about no breath, this is nitric oxide. Of course, you can look at, there are a lot of research which shows Brahmari generates nitric oxide in the nasal canals. And nitric oxide is known to be antibacterial, antiviral, and even in COVID times, there are practice of breathing, nitric oxide. So these three put together are extremely powerful for enhancing immunity. Because we clean the system, we throw away toxins, we enhance oxygen content, and then we put nitric oxide. So we can imagine the impact of this, right? And at the same time, we actually enhance the capacity of the lungs. Again, if you observe, when you are observing computers or mobile, that kind of devices, our breathing becomes very shallow. You just pay attention to that, okay? We almost stop breathing. It is so shallow. That means we don't clean the system, we don't take enough oxygen. That causes a lot of other problems. And our lung capacity decreases because just like eyeball, even lungs need to exercise. They should expand and contract. Then they will be in a healthy state. I can give you one analogy here. If you have noticed these rubber bands, if you just keep them for some time, some days, they will become brittle and become powder like this. But if this same rubber band, if you keep stretching a little bit and leaving it, it retains its flexibility and the elasticity. Very similar, our body needs to be gently exercised, not straining it. Stretch it, leave it, relax it, stretch it, relax it. Then it retains all the flexibility. Similarly for the breathing, that's right. Okay. Now we'll practice each of them. Again, they are very simple. So let me stop sharing now. Okay. First, the Bhastrika. Here, what you do is you have to stretch your hand and then bring down like this. Gradually stretch and then little forcefully bring it down.
And so all of this in Vajrasana?
Yes. Because you should keep the back straight. That's very important. Because in spinal column, all the nadis and chakras, right? Then the energy movement will be best.
Oh.
So when you are doing this, again, breathing is very important. Okay, just one more point, very important point. For all the pranayamas, we use a valve in our throat for moderating the breath. That is the only valve we have actually. And we can control the breath pressure and speed with that valve. So how to sense that valve is, if you have to do, just say, and you can observe some pressure in the throat while saying that. Just experiment that. Can you feel that? With your open mouth, if you have to say, can you feel that? Now do the same thing with mouth closed. In your nose, when you are leaving the breath, you can feel that same pressure in the throat. That means some sound comes. Can you feel that? So that is the valve. Okay. So now while doing this, you inhale and then bringing out, you should do this. And while taking the hand, palm should be open. While bringing down, close the palm like this. So that's the movement. So it's put a little pressure in the throat, not on the nose, while exhaling. Are you able to do that? So
Yeah, Vishu.
yeah, normally what you do is do 3 cycles and then relax. You can keep your palms one on top of the other and keep it on the thighs. Relax. KP not very wide like this, in front. Yeah. So when you fold it, it should come in front like this. Yeah. And again, you feel it and do it, not strain too much. And you can see that the diaphragm needs to push so that the air goes out in a burst. You know, it's that kind of a movement. So this is Bhastrika. So you can feel it, right? You are forcefully exhaling. So it actually removes carbon dioxide from the plasma in the blood, so that it becomes much cleaner. Any questions on Bhastrika? Okay, okay, good. Now, next one is called Ujjayi breath. For this, what you do is you place your hand on your waist like this. You know, you make like this and like this. Hope you can see me. Then you have to breathe in this sequence. Your abdomen should become big first, and then your chest. Can you do that? You inhale, and while inhaling, you breathe through this wall. Okay, let me show this. Okay. Can you hear some sound? I'm inhaling. That means I'm inhaling through that throat wall. You can feel a little bit pressure there. Otherwise, you can't control that movement. Can you feel that? Because you need that wall to add to go for the air to go in a slow way. And you should expand your abdomen first and then chest. And then exhale slowly like that. While exhaling again, compress the abdomen first and then chest. This is because if you notice small babies, you know, if you notice them while sleeping, you can notice that their abdomen goes up and down so much. They do really abdomen breathing. As you grow up, if you notice, we start becoming very shallow breathers. You can see we breathe through chest actually, very less of abdomen breathing. So now if you use both of them, abdomen breathing where the diaphragm goes fully down and then chest breathing, you will expand the lung capacity. So you will take a lot of now oxygen in. And also there is a pressure, you know, because it's a little bit pressured breathing. So inhale, hold for a moment, exhale, hold for a moment, like that. Can you try that now? So initially that sequence of abdomen then chest may be little hard, but at least just make sure that you expand abdomen as well as chest. So initially you may find it looks to be not so easy, but gradually it will become smooth, okay? So here also again same way, you do 3 cycles, inhale and exhale is 1 cycle. Do that 3 cycles and then relax. relax for a while. And then another, set of 3 cycles. Any questions on Ujjayi breath?
Vishu, one question. So somehow when we do this, at least I'm not feeling that I'm taking breath through the nose. Is that?
Your mouth is closed, right?
Yes.
Then that is the only hole.
That is the only way. Okay. You feel more pressure on the diaphragm actually.
Okay, maybe.
Isn't it?
I think, do you feel a pressure in the throat?
Yeah.
I think then that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Then diaphragm has to move, so you will feel some kind of a pressure there. You are expanding the diaphragm or pulling the diaphragm down actually. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, if you do more Bhastrika, it is a little bit more strenuous sometimes. And
yes.
if you have a weak lung,
you should feel and do it. That's why I'm saying all this. No, we should listen to the body. Each of our bodies has a different stage and different way it is made. That's why best guide is listening to our body itself. Nowhere we should strain the body. You just do what is good enough. In fact, it's not about doing what should I say, like a heavy weightlifting or pushing a lot of energy or not putting the body into all those kind of twists and strains. So it should be easy. So initially you should put a still little bit pressure because we need to expand little bit because we have become kind of a very stiffened. So yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
So Vishu,
Yeah.
so Vishu, this when you are breathing in or breathing out, the throat, you should use that to force the air in and out or regulate. What is that exactly we are doing?
It's regulate. In fact, that's it. How should I say this? Without that, air will just go like a big pipe. You can't make it. You're creating a constrict.
Okay.
So that air goes through in a little slow, small stream.
Right. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes. No, normally we do not bring the throat, while, unconsciously breathing, we are not involving the throat.
In normal breathing, we should not do that.
Yeah. But while doing this consciously, we bring it and, use it for constricting. Yes. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now the third one, which is Brahmari, as the sound says, is like Brahmara, which is, honeybee, making that buzzing sound. So for this, you take your, make your hands like this, the fingers stretched, and use the thumb to close your fingers. Don't close it because you don't hear what I'm saying right now. You have to close it and then keep these other fingers on your skull. Just keep it like that. And then make this sound. Mouth is closed, that kind of a sound, and you vary the frequency. You can feel it, whether it's a slightly high pitch or slightly lower pitch, which will create maximum vibration in the head. So you feel which frequency creates maximum vibration in the head, like a resonance. And again, you do this as 3 cycles. It's like take a deep breath and then keep doing that slowly until all the breath comes out. So as long as you can hold it, it's better. The longer you hold it.
Vishu, are we supposed to make the sound louder?
Again, optimum sound where you can, you don't get strained on your vocal cord.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Vishu, we have to make the sound until all the breath is gone out, or how is
Yes,
that?
yes.
This is fully breathing out only,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Breathe in and just keep making that sound while breathing out.
Okay.
So, Vishu, another way of Brahmari which is suggested is to put things like this. So, how is it different from where you put, I think, something like this? And, and
Putting
then,
like this, there are various places you put the finger.
Yeah. So, is there a difference or it's okay?
Both are
Because this
fine.
is more
Basically,
comfortable.
Yeah. This is easy. This has more precise locations actually. Basically, you use the fingers to activate again certain points. In fact, our skull has a lot of electrical points. It will get activated. For EEG, lot of probes are put here, right? So you are putting something like that here.
Yeah, I found it comfortable because
Yes.
this is,
Yes.
Yeah, this is like
Yeah.
Good.
And for all these three breathing, close the eyes and do it, because then your focus will be very internal.
Yeah. Another question on the Ujjayi O2 breathing.
Yeah.
See, in Art of Living, we also not only this position, we also do this and then this position. So what is the difference in this, like this, and then doing like this and doing the same?
That will help to stretch this rib. So that's also fine. You can say that's a little bit more advanced. I'm trying to keep it very simple.
Sure. Yeah, because it's a part of the Art of Living. I am actually doing that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Vishu, why we should stick to only 3 cycles? Can we do a little more?
Yes, you can do. I'll come to that. How many and how long, etc. towards the end. Okay. Anything on these 3 breathing? Let me come back to the presentation. Even with this, just some practice, are you feeling some kind of a vibration in the palm, in the face?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Vishu.
Yes.
You can start seeing, the energy movements.
Yeah, it's almost instantaneous, I think,
Yeah. Okay.
Vishu, one question. Kapalabhati also can we do in Vajrasana?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm saying that's why this minimal simple things, and you can complement with other practices what you are doing. And towards the end, I will show you how you can integrate if you are doing other practices, because there is a sequence from taking from body, from a gross to subtle. All these practices go from a gross to subtle, so that we should integrate things at the right times. Okay, now 4th step is meditation. As you can notice, we started with body, breath, and then going to the mind, you can say. Even though it's like a breath, it is dealing with mind indirectly. So here, you can sit relaxed in a comfortable way. Your body should not be interfering now. So there should not be pain in the body. For example, Vajrasana, people maybe start feeling pain in the ankles. So whatever way, sit relaxed. I'll play an audio guided instruction now. We have used it in the past also, but it's always nice to have. Very simple, but even this itself is extremely powerful if you just practice it. So sit relaxed with your back and head straight. Close your eyes, and I will play this audio, and then you just follow that instruction. Sit relaxed with your back and head straight. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to the breath. Start observing your breath. Breathe slowly and deeply with full inhalation and full exhalation. Keep observing the breath. Observe the sensations in the nostrils as you breathe in and breathe out. Observe the slight movement of the nostrils as you breathe in and breathe out. Observe the movement of chest and abdomen as you breathe in and breathe out. Continue to observe the breath. If any thoughts come, don't follow the thoughts. Gently bring back the attention to the breath. Continue to observe the breath. Slowly and gently open your eyes. Okay, how are you feeling? Calm, quietly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Refreshed.
Yes. In fact, there are a lot of neuroscience research which shows that even simple meditation like this, if you do consistently for some time, how it brings down the brainwave frequency, how it changes the hormones or the neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all those kind of things. And over a period, how it even changes the gray cells in the brain, like reducing gray cells in amygdala, which is a our anxiety brain or a stress brain, you can say, fight or flight brain, versus how it increases the gray matter in neocortex, our higher awareness brain. So now neuroscience is showing a lot of this impact of all these practices. As I said, our intellects want to do very complex things because then it feels I have achieved something. But simple things are very powerful. Just this meditation, this is the most powerful meditation. It can bring so much transformation in the body, mind, energy. Any questions in this? In fact, initially, if you want, you can use a guided instruction like this, but you should be able to do on your own as quickly as possible, because it's like you should not be dependent on external fixtures. Any questions here?
In fact, Vishu, the last time you did this, I understood that it was so effective that I used this, from in one of my programs with the kids, from first standard to fourth standard. These children, for 45 days we did this together, and the children themselves said it is, they came back and said, I feel so good, So if let's say their parents have scolded them or they had a fight or something like that, they came back and said that I use this, So I had told them that whenever you are in some sort of anxiety or you're not getting along well, or you're in a tight spot, you can simply do this. And not only them, even I found it,
yes,
quite effective. Yes.
In fact, we use this in all leadership workshops. We do what's called mindful leadership programs. All before going to a presentation, before getting into a meeting, people doing this and phenomenal effect of that actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it it's an antidote to something, or is it like a preventive thing also? If you keep doing it,
it's preventive actually. Immediately it brings change because, in fact, there are now headsets available which actually measure your brainwave frequency. You can watch it on your laptop. Very instantly, your brainwave frequency starts coming down, which in turn relaxes the whole metabolism in the body. And over a period when you do this, it's a preventive because you transform into a naturally calm and composed person rather than an irritated, anxious, stressed person. Because you won't produce those hormones, or you produce them less, all those anxiety hormones. You produce more of the pleasantness hormones. You reduce this, what's called amygdala hijack, the emotional hijacks. So you naturally transform into a different kind of personality.
Is it something you do 2 times a day, or is it, it's just when you want to do it?
In fact, this breath watch, more frequently you can do, it's even more powerful. It need not have to be, it can be for even few seconds, because it declutches your thinking mind basically. So even just few seconds, even in a meeting, for example, you can do this with open eyes also. Just take your attention to breath, so that you will notice that if you are getting into a anxious mode in a meeting, fear or anxiety or even upset with somebody saying something, just take your attention to breath, few seconds. It will just die down and you will be a lot more constructive.
Thank you, Vishu.
Yeah.
Matar here. I was just wondering, doing this in the Shavasana position will be a lot more relaxing, I think, because you have to, when you are trying to sit like this, it's naturally puts a little bit of strain on your back, unless you get used to it and all that. So I was just wondering. I mean, of course, you can't get into Shavasana mode anywhere and every time, but at least when you are at home, you can practice that, right? So.
Oh yes. In fact, you will go into Shavasana or Yoga Nidra very quickly.
Yeah.
Shavasana is the most preferred asana sometimes.
Oh yeah.
You are still doing the asana and you can claim you are doing asana.
Especially now, right? In fact, after doing all these things, you should do Shavasana, because especially your back needs a rest. Yeah. So let
Vishu,
me go back.
Vishu,
Yeah.
one question.
Yeah.
Is it something similar to Vipassana? What is this? Whatever, or is it?
Yes, yes. In Vipassana, they say Anapana, right? It's even not even, it's very similar to that. You just keep observing inhale and exhale cycles in Vipassana.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that you in the picture, Vishu?
Where? No. But I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now overall sequence, roughly invocation may take 1 minute because you do that with attention. Those, in fact, that Asatoma Sadgamaya, see, Sanskrit has a special effect. Okay, in fact, Sanskrit is called discovered language. It's not a constructed language, and all Indian language is based on Sanskrit. For example, if you notice these vowels, a, e, up to you utter them without using tongue, and you make that sound from your base to the tip. From there, u comes here, comes to the tips, right? And then all the vowels, k, k, g, g, ng starts in the throat. Ch, ch, j, j, n comes from. Ta, ta, da, da, n comes to the palate. Ta, ta, da, da, n comes to the teeth. Pa, pa, ba, ba, m comes to the lips. So it's like a flute. You make that bass sound and then moderate the frequency. So whole Sanskrit language is primarily designed for creating right vibrations in the body. And communication is a byproduct of that actually. So that's why these sounds are not just arbitrary. Just by uttering that sound, actually a lot of things transform because we vibrate the system in the right way. Along with that, if you also think about that meaning, Asatoma Sadgamaya is about, lead us from unreal to real, because this Jagat is unreal, as Upanishad shows. In fact, through modern science, we know that. We think this is a solid objects, right? But if you go to atomic level, 99% is hollow. Only thing is our eyes are not able to see it. Like that, there is so much what we assume that this is real and truth is actually false. That's called Maya, right? Then Brahma Mudra 3 times, it about 3 minutes. Brahma Mudra, remember, right? The neck slow movements along with eye and breathing. Then breathing, Bhastrika 3 into 3. That means do 3 times, then relax. Again 3 times, relax. 3 times, relax. So 3 into 3. Similarly, Ujjayi 3 into 3. Bhramari 3 times. As you become comfortable, you can do more. But this is kind of a starting. And then meditation 3 minutes, breath watch. And this is the sequence. So as you can notice, you go from gross to subtle, right? So totally this is about 10 to 15 minutes. And this is complete system, what should I say, involving all the anatomy of the system, Panchakoshas and Panchabhutas. As simple as that, but it deals with this thing holistically.
Vishu, can you just show how you hold your hand in Brahma Mudra?
Are you able to see, or should I stop sharing?
We can see.
Okay. So your thumb touching the base of the small finger and then make a fist. And then bring the fist together like this. And then keep it like this on your thighs.
Thanks, Vishu.
Yeah. Yeah, like this.
Vishu, one question on this Ujjayi. People say that you should take in the breath via the hole which we see just in the beginning of the neck and release normally. Ujjayi breathing.
Both through that wall only.
Oh,
While
okay.
breathing in also through the wall, breathing out also through the mouth. So you should feel light pressure then.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So last part, then we'll take overall questions. Okay. Exercise for the lower part. So this is first for upper part, right? Which is very, very important part where all the command control and everything is happening there. Now, any idea what's the best exercise for lower body?
Walking.
Yes, as simple as that.
Yes.
So walking, if you notice, exercises limbs, waist, stomach, pelvic region, heart, lungs, because you increase a little bit of the breathing frequency, heart, the pumping. So it increases circulation of blood, energy, air. So 20 to 30 minutes walking. So what is important here is sustained exercise for a longer duration. Diana trained. That's why it's even better than running, jogging. It's not about burning calories. Okay, this burning calories has come from the West. Here, idea is actually you exercise all the parts of the body in the optimum way. See, in yogic system, any extreme is actually shunned. In fact, even Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, right, this science is not for the yogis or the bhogis. It's for the yogis, which is actually balance and middle path. So any extreme is not good. I know Kiran may be saying, oh.
I stopped running long back.
Oh, you stopped, is it? Yeah, yeah. See, what happens is, you notice in nature, how are we, okay? Or even animals. When do we run? If you notice, small children run and jump and run, right? Because they have a lot of energy. They need to expend that. And other than that, when we run, it's only for survival. Otherwise, we are not running. It's actually walking. You watch all the animals. They're not just running all the time. They just walk. Of course, the small puppies and kittens and the calves, they jiggle and run and jump. That is actually expending that tremendous energy they generate when it's young. Other than that, normal state is walking. Once in a while or a short parts of overexertion is okay, but otherwise we should not overexert any part of this body. So that's why walking is a great exercise, and all the lower part of the body, of course, all the circulation. So it is exercising the whole body just by walking. So I'm giving just the recommended. So when to do all this upper part of the body, I said, the breathing, those aspects, anytime after 1 to 2 hours after having food. Because otherwise it will affect the metabolism. Of course, breath work you can do anytime. And then recommended routine is morning upper body exercises, 15 minutes, because it sets the whole trajectory for the day. It actually calms down and increases the energy, makes the body flexible. So it sets up the whole trajectory for the day. And then evening you can do walk. So this could be a good routine. And after having said all these things, you experiment, okay? Because your body is unique, and feel it, and then see what works best. Okay, just one more point. Somewhere I talked about integrating other practices. If you are doing, use this guideline. For example, if you are doing anything, asanas or stretches, etc., do that before this Brahma Mudra. That means Surya Namaskar or anything like that, which is even more physical activity, right? Then Brahma Mudra, then breathing. And if you are doing any other pranayama, you can combine them here. And then meditation. And if you notice here how Ashtanga Yoga talks about Yama Niyama, which are actually kind of a rules for the individual and for the social context. They are like you condition the mind so that you are orienting your rocket to be the right way. Then asana, I talked about all stretching, etc. here. Then pranayama. Then there is pratyahara, dharana, which we skip. Then dhyana, which is meditation. Then samadhi. So it's actually designed in that way, from gross to subtle. So with that, I'll conclude and we can open up for any questions overall in general.